Hi, welcome to Market Alert for Friday, the 20th of April 2018. So yesterday in the Dow, we'll start off with the Dow as this chart's up here. We can see that again they tried to move the market lower, and this failed before prices saw some buying. You can see a bit of a battle going on here. One bar it's down, then it's up, and then the selling took over. And then they tested the market before moving it higher. Ran into the minor psychological level there, and then we've got the resistance one pivot here, and then we can see the market moving back, or trying to move back, main psychological level there, and then the market moves lower until we come back to again down to the minor psychological level before the market puts in a retracement and then shoots higher before the close. I don't think there's any sort of plunge protection team there, just the market trying to get back up off the lows there. And in the daily chart you can see here that we came down towards the 76% retracement, certainly flirting with the 62, and now looks set to return to the upside if nothing else comes out and tries to move the market lower. Also the volume is low as well, so no selling around for yesterday. What needs to be adjusted is this trend line. Just click on there and then drag this up to here. Not the best, I have to say, because you should really connect to 3 points, but there's nothing really there to do that unless we just assume that this particular uptrend where it does connect there is over for the time being. I'm probably more likely to go with that, see if the market will come back and if it will find resistance as it bangs its head against this and this area here. So if we're going to draw them on, we'll draw them how they should be drawn there. So that's the Dow. There's no news today. I mean, there is meetings and all sorts of other things and bank officials speaking, but they're not big guns by any means. Not really going to move the market at all. And in the pound, there's interesting developments overnight here. This is yesterday's session, and again, like the Dow, there was a lot of to-ing and fro-ing and fighting going on initially. You can see the volume kick in, massive volume, but given the uncertainty of rate rises and everything else, the market came back. It tested here. Fortunately, it hit the scalp and then sat on the pivot low here as well, which I'm finding these really useful. I spent quite a bit of time looking at these, and they can actually become additional trading tool. You can see here how the market drove through this one, but then sat and clustered around this one, and once it closed back below the 20-bar average, you can see how the market then moved lower, and we had this sell-off in the early part of the evening for the pound. No idea why. I've looked at the news, but there's not an awful lot. The only thing is the concern about not being able to raise rates in May. So the market just ploughed straight through these pivots and psychological levels. The two in combination are quite fascinating. And there you can see the market just playing around with this one, and then it's gone to the close line there as well, where you can see the market playing with that as well and just holding there. The moment just below the pivot low there. Just drag that over so you can see what's going on there, and then a few more bits and pieces there if you wanted to have a look. So let's have a look at the daily. You can see the big drop in the pound, and the first thing we need to do, I drew in this 76% yesterday. That's obviously been demolished, and the only one that I think we've got to look at, we've got two here, but we'll probably go with the main swing. Right, so let's just remove this high for the time being and this 76%, and then what we'll do is just go from the low up to the high, and we'll see that the 76% at the moment, if this is taken out, then we can expect an attack on this low here. We'll just draw that in there as well. So the pound looking fairly weakish there, and also closed below the 20 bar average as well at the moment. In the implied volatility, this up slightly, a bit of volatility around yesterday, but nothing to write home about as far as this is concerned. And then finally in Bitcoin, we've got the market trading sideways, still in a narrow range, probably the narrowest it's ever traded since it blew up last year. Very, very quiet at the moment, and trading between 276% retracements there at the moment. If you look at the intraday, you can see what's happening. You get in these big bars with big orders coming in and just spiking the markets when they can see it's quiet, and that's what it's been like all week. It looks like it's having a heart attack, frankly, given these big spikes, but that's what it's doing at the moment, and the same obviously in the 60-minute and the 4-hour. But one thing that is great is how it trades between all of these pivot lines, how it will sit on them, it will trade up to the next one, got resistance here, heads back down towards this one, and then here you can see what happened overnight, how it traded up to it, and then came back to here and here, and then eventually broke through, and then came back down to this one, and now just sitting underneath this one. So certainly very good pivot areas there of support and resistance, along of course with the psychological levels as well. Right, that will do it for this one. If there's anything to report, I will let you know. Other than that, have a great weekend, enjoy the sunshine, and I will see you in the next one.